Frieren Beyond Journey's End is one of my favorite recent pickups, which I recently got the latest 2 volumes of. Typical stories would go into the hero's journey of defeating the Demon Lord, but this story follows an elf who has already completed that journey. Due to her long lifespan of 1,000 years, the 10-year-long journey of defeating the Demon Lord was a quick one to her, and now she journeys across the world collecting magic spells and slowly confronts her regrets of her missed opportunities of forming deeper bonds of her now deceased comrades. In the first 3 volumes I read, you're introduced to her 2 traveling companions who are also apprentices of her past comrades. It's a great adventure fantasy manga that follows the group's journey. What I really like about the story is that it's a different spin on the traditional hero's journey. Our protagonist is not starting their journey, we can see him directly in the middle of a new one. The 2 new traveling companions are the ones who are starting their journey, so you're able to see 2 different perspectives of a veteran and a rookie traveling the world. I also really like the character development in the story. Since the main character is an elf and lives for thousands of years, she doesn't realize the importance of cherishing her life no matter how long you have to live until she finally reaches past destinations that spark important memories. I would definitely say this is my top choice for a new manga recommendation. I finally got the 3rd volume to Vagabond, which is a really popular manga series that I was really late on the train to, but nonetheless I'm really enjoying this series. Set in 16th century Japan, our main character is a wild, rough young man seeking only to be the strongest in the world. With nothing but his animalistic sword style, he journeys across Japan challenging the strongest points he can find in order to hone his skills. This story is a fictitious retelling of Japan's most renowned swordsman and his rise from a swordsman with little desire other than become the strongest person in the world to an enlightened warrior who understands the importance of close friends, self-reflection, and life itself. Great characters, great art, and a great story make for a great manga, and I believe this is more than just a series with a man chopping down people with his sword. It's a story about overcoming challenges and learning your purpose in the world. I really hope to finish collecting this series, and I hope you join me. Next, I picked up 2 volumes of the 4-volume series called Amanon. Technically, the first volume is a one-shot that can be read individually, while the next 3 volumes are a continuation of that. Amanon tells the extraordinary tale of a girl who serves as the planet's witness, an inheritor of a genetic memory that has been passed down from a maternal line since the beginning of life itself. I found it to be an interesting concept where this person is supposed to know everything that's ever happened in life, and every time she gives birth, her memories are transferred onto her offspring. It poses the questions, what would you do if you had a 3 billion-year-old memory? Would you just reminisce over past experience? Would you nostalgically ponder the meaning of life? Or would you just stand by idly and simply observe as time passes? It truly is an interesting concept to think about, and this series dives into that theme. While I like this series, I didn't necessarily love the series, so I only read the first volume, but I didn't find myself interested enough into continuing the series, unfortunately. I picked up 2 new volumes of A Sign of Affection, a story that tells a social romance between 2 college students. The girl has a hearing disability while the guy is fascinated in learning new languages and cultures, so the girl becomes of interest to him when they meet. I previously read up to volume 2, and I thought the series was okay, with my main complaint being that I didn't really like how the main male character was portrayed as this super cool, almost emotionless character. It was hard for me to read his thoughts in the story, so I didn't know if he was truly interested romantically in her or just interested as a friend. I'm happy to say that those complaints have been thrown out the window with these 2 latest volumes. The romance has really picked up fast, and the development between the 2 characters is very exciting to see. A lot of problems in other romance series commonly stem from communication problems, and what I like about this series is that the characters are finally saying what they're thinking and clearly portraying their emotions, so less avoidable problems are coming up. This was a series that I was about to drop, but I'm very happy that I've kept reading this because it is slowly becoming one of my favorite new shoujo romance series. I picked up the first volume to Record of Ragnarok, which is an action manga revolving around the greatest humans battling the greatest gods. The gods have decided to destroy Earth, but a proposal has been made to give humans a fighting chance with 13 one-on-one showdowns between man and god. It's an action-packed manga with good art and something I think you would enjoy if you're looking for something mindlessly fun to read. I do know that there is an anime adaptation for this, and I've never watched it, but I think I saw that it was animated not that well. This is one of the series that I would recommend you stick to the manga rather than watching the anime. I'll slowly be collecting this series to see how much more interesting it gets in the future and how the fights will go on with the new characters. I bought 4 more deluxe volumes of Berserk, and this series has easily become one of my favorite dark fantasy series that I've ever experienced. Berserk follows our main character named Guts, who is known as the Black Swordsman, hunting a certain individual for revenge. The first 3 volumes will introduce the present version of Guts and how he is marked for death and is constantly being attacked by demonic beings. Beginning in the middle of the 3rd volume, I believe, we get into the Golden Age arc, which I believe is one of the best arcs I've ever read in a series. This arc throws us all the way back to the beginning of Guts' birth birth and the events that led him to the horrible life that he has in the present. It shows how Guts struggles to grow up with no family, constantly training for fights and being used as a weapon on the battlefield. You're introduced to the Band of Hawks, a mercenary group that Guts fought with and is led by Griffith, the man whose beauty is otherworldly and whose goal is to create his own kingdom. It's an amazing story filled with horror, love, and betrayal. I would say it starts a little bit slow, but once you get into the Golden Age arc, you won't be able to stop reading. The last series I want to share is the complete edition manga called Uzumaki, which is a horror manga revolving around a town that has been affected by spirals and unexplainable events that cause the residents of the town to spiral into madness. Honestly, I liked the art in this series, which was at times very terrifying and disturbing, but for the most part, I did not really enjoy reading Uzumaki. For me personally, I don't like stories where random things happen without an explanation at the end. The horrific spirals that happen in the story cause weird things to appear and change the residents of the town, but it's all very random, and the only connection that there is that there's a spiral, and that's it. It was difficult for me to dive into this story because everything that was happening just felt so random. The horror and fear that I should have been feeling was instead replaced by laughter at just the ridiculousness of what I was reading. Nothing made sense, and I didn't really like how it was explained in the end. I didn't really take away anything from this manga other than the art was pretty good, but that's just my opinion. Don't let my opinion deter you from buying this manga. If you're a fan of horror, I believe you would like this because the images can be disturbing at times, but unfortunately it just was not for me. My bad that I haven't posted for a while. I've been a little busy for the past few months, but I have another package coming this month, so look out for the new video coming in a few weeks.